Hey everybody. Um, so we decided to stay quiet and let people step on their feet, um, which is being done right now as we speak. This is an update to how the proceedings are going. We just had court pre-trial conference. We just had a pre-trial conference. That's all it was. But we let some of our stalkers and harassers and people that have been making death threats against us go ahead and not understand the process, and they just stepped all the way on their toes. The people that I'm referencing are partnership and working incongruent with the corrupt government officials from Meade County, Kentucky. And now one of the prosecutors just kind of put herself in that bucket as well, which is about the only thing that really requires any updating to the proceedings that we just had. And we knew this, me and Tiffany knew this a long time ago. So a pretrial conference is just a meeting between the lawyers and the judge to update where we're at in the case. Tiffany and I knew this all along. We set up a mediator, which is public now. We'd set up a mediator at our last visit, our last meeting with the prosecutors, because we're trying to resolve things outside of court. Not a plea bargain, but resolve. In other words, we think that they need to see what's going on, what's really going on in the case that they've chosen or been chosen to represent. So that requires a mediator so that we can share some evidence and stuff without blowing the case, without blowing the court case. So we're going to be very careful about how we present and share evidence back and forth, which requires mediation. So Tiffany and I knew that that's what we were doing way before today. That's why we didn't make any big deals about a public hearing today, nothing of the sort. And one of the other reasons we didn't make any statements about the today's hearing is because we knew that the idiots that are working for JJ, we knew that they don't understand court process enough, and we wanted for them to show their ass in front of the judge. And you did, didn't you, Todd? And he's saying that he's a witness. He's not a witness. He never witnessed anything. So, if anything, he was a witness for me and Tiffany, where he signed a witness affidavit accusing the sheriff's sister of stalking and harassment. That's how he can be. If he wants to be a witness, even though I've got a protective order filled out against him, if he wants to be a witness, he can come to court and he can testify to that. That's all I'm saying on that. Yeah, so today was literally just a continuance. We knew that going into it. It's a pre-trial conference. Guys, understand this. Pre-trial conferences are exactly what it sounds like when you say pre-trial conference. It's a conference, meaning a meeting. It's just a meeting. And in that meeting, they're discussing parts of like the trial that's not happening that day. They're discussing how they're going to do the trial. They're discussing dates. They're discussing schedules. They're discussing what movement is being made between the prosecutors and the attorneys. And for those of you who thought, well, today Tiffany and Chris are going to get justice, no. First of all, we won't be getting justice at our trial. Even like if we have a jury trial, we still won't be getting justice in this matter, because in this matter they've made criminal allegations against Tiffany and I. There's no justice to be had in the criminal process. That's something that a lot of these auditors need to learn. You're not getting justice out of a criminal proceeding. When you have been charged with a crime, there is no justice when they say, oh, okie dokie, you didn't do it. That just means you've been screwed out of your time, screwed out of your money, harassed and stalked to no end and had your lives threatened on social media platforms, been wrongfully accused of something, and then, you know, that's all it is. So in the end, when they say, you know, hey, not guilty, that's all it is that you get out of it. That's it. You don't get money. You don't get, you know, justice. You don't get anything.
Wait, we don't get money?
Not from that, honey. We get to lose a whole lot more money. These trials are very expensive, and the cost goes to us. And we have been paying dearly for this process so far. And there's still a whole nother set of false charges on me also that's also ongoing. I think I have a total, they've pressed a total of like 15 false charges against me. 13 of them have happened from me sitting here in my living room doing absolutely nothing but free speech on YouTube. I think the prosecutors are starting to realize this. At least one of them is, and that's the purpose for the mediator that we're scheduling. Part of the purpose for that, because we're going to show the proof that not only did Tiffany and I literally file for protection because of the stuff that Scarborough was doing before he ever pressed any charges, but we also had all these videos to prove it. So that all needs to be given to the prosecutors so that they can see what they're really dealing with. I think that one of the prosecutors had no idea. I don't think he knew that at all. Matter of fact, he said to me, he said, you have every right to your free speech, your First Amendment, having a YouTube channel, doing what you're doing. He said those words, doing what you're doing. He was talking to me. The prosecutor was talking to me, and that's what he said. And I said, then why am I here? Why am I here? If everything that you've seen on my YouTube was literally covered by my First Amendment to free speech, then why am I in this office? Because there are not one single charge of any of his cases that he has against me where I left my living room or did anything outside of YouTube. All those charges were from this, being on YouTube and talking. No threats, nothing like that. And I mean, the threats come towards us. That's how that works. The threats come to us. We don't make the threats. We receive the threats. So it's kind of like this. The projection that we've experienced from the Meade County government has been uncanny ridiculous. It's just pathetic ridiculous. Because everything they have accused us of is exactly what they were already doing to me and Tiffany. So they waited for us to respond to anything that they were already doing, and then had their dirty prosecutor, who's recused, by the way, so she didn't even have the authority, but had their dirty prosecutor file charges on us for everything. So we did not ask nor want anyone to come to today's pre-trial conference. We also did not say to anyone, do not come to our pre-trial conference. We also knew that our presence wasn't even necessary for a pre-trial conference. We don't even have to be there. It's literally for the judge and the lawyers. We didn't even have to be there. So we stayed quiet because we wanted for Scarborough's YouTube channel partners to step on their dicks and pop in there after we filed restraining orders on them. That mission is accomplished.
That's a good job.
That's a good job, Todd. It's a good job, Todd. I wonder where Ruff was. So anyway, that's why we didn't ask, because it's not even a trial. It was just a pre-trial conference. And I'm sorry for anyone that may have been misled by my post last night where I said that we had court today. That was just to further confuse the morons to show their asses. And it worked. And not only were hundreds, it's so weird. In 1 hour, there were probably 500 to 1,000 sexual, I guess, threats, comments made about me and you by Todd.
That's nasty.
So gross. He's been saying things that I won't repeat about Tiffany, and they're trying to scare us as usual to come to court, which we've just been being quiet about when we actually have to go to court, what courthouse we have to go to, who our judge is. We are very well aware that we are being pursued by the 3%ers. We are very well aware that we are being pursued by friends of the Meade County government officials. We are very well aware that we are being pursued by family of the Meade County government officials. And we will not be bringing Tiffany's children around those sick people. Won't be happening. So all of this is being coordinated with the legal staff, with the government employees behind the scene. I'm not saying they've been completely friendly, or I'm not telling you where we're at with that. What I'm telling you is that there are things ticking behind the scenes that people like Bryant are completely unaware of, and we're going to keep it that way. So the more he steps, the more landmines he can expect to encounter. And that's what we're doing. We're letting him blow himself up. Because in that, he's also handling proving our case of not guilty. Just like Kaiser proved our case of not guilty. That is exactly what Ruff is doing for us, and that is exactly what Bryant is doing for us. It's been expensive. It's been dragging out. It's been difficult on us. It's been financially devastating, what we've been going through. The threats and the, what can I say? The actions, the threats and the actions, I'm talking about physical, in-person actions that these stalkers and obsessive bootlickers have done, have been egregiously dangerous. Not really for us, yeah, but more dangerous for the public, like the people that they've involved. Wouldn't you say? Because there's been things that have been happening that they've been doing that we've proven to the government that they've been doing that should have and almost did get people literally killed, that we've been quiet about because it is under investigation. Anyway, this is crazy that all it took for this to happen, work was calling me, all it took for this to happen to a couple from southern Indiana was just some idiot deputy chief of police from the sheriff's department being scared of people with cameras doing an in real life live stream documentary. That's it. When a government official is a chicken shit scared of a camera, the government will destroy good people. They will attempt to destroy good people by backing the blue, which is precisely what it's all about. Backing the people that wear the thin blue line, the division between you and them. And that team will work with all of the power of your tax money and all of the power of the entire government authority to try to shut you down, fuck you up, ruin your life, and make you get the fuck out of Dodge when it comes to having a camera on them. Now, I would argue that the only ones that actually give a shit about that are the ones who are doing wrong. What do you think?
I was distracted. Your phone's going crazy.
Yeah, my phone's been going crazy all day. I'm actually surprised at how much has been thrown towards me today and last night, because I guess people didn't realize it. We were basically totally silent, because all it was a preliminary,
Just an update hearing.
just an update. Not really anybody's business. Not even necessary to be public. It was literally just, hey, where are you all at with this? What kind of dates can we set? What's everybody's schedule? And not talking about the public. It was talking to our lawyers. The prosecutors, there's two of them, which one didn't show up again today, which seems to be what happens every single time we have court, is that one of the prosecutors fails to come. And then we just get to sit there and watch them discuss each other's scheduling. That's what a pretrial conference is. That's it.
I didn't even say anything during that.
Yeah. I spoke up and said, Your Honor, did you give, I asked the judge, I said, did you give permission for this hearing to be live broadcasted? And she said, no. And I said, because there's a person in here who's currently live on their YouTube channel to live broadcast this. We were talking about Todd. Well, then the prosecutor went to say, I think he might be a witness. He's not a witness, because there are witness properties and inclusions and witness exclusions. And Todd was there for nothing. He was there for he was not there for anything that we've been charged with. He was not a participant. Stop. Why would you call EQI? Why would you call me while I'm live, bro? I love you, man, but why the fuck? I'm live. Let me shut off my phone. Hang on, y'all.
Herm says dang phone. Yeah, all of the notifications are really distracting.
All right, we're back. I don't know why anybody would call me while we're live
She says,
streaming.
hey, answer. Let's talk about this publicly.
Maybe they didn't get the notifications, because we know a lot of problems have been happening with that. So yeah, we knew today was nothing but a pretrial conference for our attorneys to speak to one another and update the judge. And we were quiet about it because we wanted the dumbasses. Listen up, y'all. We wanted the dumbasses to step on their feet by showing up and live broadcasting, because you all know what happened when Kaiser live broadcasted my public hearing. They published my social security number during it, which should have led to federal felony charges on the jailer from Meade County, Kentucky, who actually put that out there. It should have. If the people that run the law, the executive division of the United States, if the police were to actually follow and execute the legal system, the law, then that maneuver, putting J.J. Scarborough, putting my social security number, our address, my date of birth, our phone numbers, all that, him putting that out on that social media platform of a murderer, Michael Kaiser, should have had him put in handcuffs and shiny bracelets and march straight down to the closest county jail, where he would await trial for felony charges. That's what it should have done. You all saw the video. the fucking KSP Post 4 police are crooked and dirty and corrupt as fuck. And when they knew that they had no choice because it was a felony, they don't get discretion. When they knew that they didn't have a choice, he just looked right at the camera and he goes, I'm not doing it. That was all he had. So we did put complaints in on him. But it's the Thin Blue Line gang, y'all. It is a gang. And they are not here for you. And it will never be good for you because we've let it go too far. We the people have let it go too far. So I don't know if there's ever any getting back the protection that we were supposed to get when we created policing. I think that's too far gone. So you could speak up. I'm sitting here talking through the whole thing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just reading chat. I know I have to get my homework done soon.
All right. So yeah, today was just a pre-trial conference. We knew that going into it. We didn't even have to show up. Like we didn't even have to be there on Zoom. Because it's just between lawyers and the judge. We wanted people to think, and when we say people, we wanted for Scarborough's obsessive hounds to think that today was something more important, so that they would broadcast live, so that they would pop in. And we know that in us staying quiet, that a lot of our friends and supporters also jumped in. And I'm sorry that you did that. We will how about this? We will let you know you'll know when we have actual trials and hearings. You will know. I don't think, even though I'm saying this, I don't think people like Todd Bryant are smart enough to understand, even when I give you clear directions and say, don't show up, it's unnecessary, to anything other than an actual hearing or a trial, because it's unnecessary. Everything else is just going back and forth about scheduling. I can clearly say that, right? Let me do it again. You don't need to show up at all for any pre-trial conference. And bet your bottom dollar, y'all, even after I did that, Todd will still show up. People like Chris Ruff, who might be in prison right now or jail because he's disappeared, thankfully, will still get involved. There will still be people like that who, even though we say it real clearly, there's nothing that's going to happen, and we're completely already aware of what will happen in the courtroom, we are not going to say whether or not we're even going to be there. We're not going to share that information. So, even though I'm telling you that, the idiots that support Scarborough in this will still step on their dicks if they had one. They'll step on the string they've tied to their crotch to pretend that they hold a penis. So, that's all really. That's it for this. Got a video that's set to drop at 6:30. So if y'all want to be here for that, we'll probably do it in the premiere form. What's the matter, Diesels? You got something in your ear? Diesel says hi, y'all. Diesel got something in his ear, apparently. He's over here whining, scratching his head. I'll take you out. You got something in your ear? Oh, yeah, he does.
Nope.
We need to get you. What is that? Ooh, I need to get a cotton ball and get that out. Gross. All right, y'all. Love you, and I'll see you at 6:30.
I'll try to be in chat. Love y'all.
Bye. That was easy.